The hangar was alive with the sounds of clinking tools, hissing hydraulic lifts, and the occasional bark of an NCO reminding someone to hurry it up. Dust motes floated in the shafts of sunlight cutting through the open bay doors, catching in the air like sparks. Private Leah Torres had her sleeves rolled to the elbows, smudges of grease across her face, and a cleaning rod in her hand as she worked on the Apache's M230 chain gun. For most people, the 30mm cannon was a thing to fear, an iron beast mounted beneath the helicopter's chin. For Leah, it was just another task in her endless rotation of inspections and cleanings. She hummed softly under her breath as she ran the rod through, wiping out the carbon buildup. Her hands were steady, practiced. She'd done this more times than she could count. But then Captain Mason Hayes walked in. Hayes, the Apache pilot assigned to the bird, was tall, his flight suit half-zipped, patches marking deployments stitched neatly onto the fabric. He was known around base for his focus, cold, almost mechanical in the cockpit, but dependable. Today, though, something broke that mask. He froze, not at the sight of her hands deep in the machine gun. Not even at her humming. But at the small patch sewn onto the left sleeve of her coveralls. A patch most mechanics didn't wear. A kraken, a stylized tentacled beast gripping an anchor, stitched in black and silver thread. Hayes blinked once, his breath catching in his throat. He'd seen that patch before. Only once. Years ago, in a place that still haunted his dreams. Leah glanced up, noticing his sudden stillness. "Sir, you okay?" Hayes took a slow step closer, eyes fixed on the insignia. "Where did you get that patch?" She looked down at her sleeve, then back up at him. "This, hand-me-down, I guess." "Why, hand-me-down?" His voice was sharp now. She frowned. "Yeah, belonged to my brother." Hayes' jaw tightened. The patch wasn't just some novelty, not just a souvenir from the PX. The Kraken belonged to a shadow unit, one that technically didn't exist on paper. He remembered the whispers. Special reconnaissance, deep infiltration, deniable ops. The kind of missions where you didn't expect to come home. The kind of missions where he'd lost half his wingmen. "What was your brother's name?" Hayes asked quietly. Leah hesitated. The memory clearly stung. Sergeant Elias Torres. The name hit him like a gut punch. Hayes knew that name. He remembered it from the after-action reports, the hushed debriefings. Elias Torres was one of the operators who had gone missing in an op gone bad, when Hayes was flying cover, forced to pull back under heavy fire. The decision still clawed at his conscience. Hayes' voice softened, almost a whisper. "Your brother saved my life." Leah froze, the rod slipping slightly in her hand. "What?" "He was part of the Kraken detachment. We were over a canyon ridge. Ambush hit us hard. SAMs, small arms, everything. I should have been shot out of the sky that day. But your brother..." He stopped, forcing down the lump in his throat. "He lit up the ridge with an SMAW. Gave me the window to pull out. If he hadn't..." Her hands trembled now, grease staining her fingertips as she set the rod aside. "You knew him. You saw him. I didn't just see him. I owed him." Hayes' eyes were fixed on the patch. "And now I'm looking at his sister, cleaning my gun like it's just another job." Leah swallowed hard. For years she had lived in the shadow of her brother's memory. The official notice had said missing in action. No closure, no funeral. Just silence. And now, this pilot, this stranger, was telling her a piece of the story she had never known. Her throat tightened. "They never told me what happened. Just that he didn't come back." Hayes exhaled, his chest heavy. "Because they couldn't. His unit was off the books. Even admitting they existed would have raised questions. But I remember his face. I remember that patch. And I'll never forget what he did for me." Silence hung between them, heavy and raw. The hangar sound seemed far away now, drowned under the weight of revelation. Leah's eyes glistened, but she blinked it back, forcing her voice to stay steady. "So what you're saying is, my brother's not forgotten?" Hayes stepped closer, his voice firm. "Not for a second. Every time I fly, every time I come home, I remember who made it possible. That's why I froze when I saw that patch. It's not just a symbol. It's a reminder that some debts can never be repaid." Leah looked down at her sleeve, tracing the Kraken with her thumb. For the first time, it didn't feel like just a memento. It felt alive. She straightened, meeting his eyes. Then I'll wear it until it falls apart. Hayes gave the faintest smile, though his eyes still carried the weight of memory. And I'll make sure the story of Sergeant Elias Torres doesn't stay buried in classified files. In that moment, surrounded by machines and grease, a silent pact formed between them, one of remembrance, of honor, of carrying forward the name of a man who had disappeared into the shadows but had not been erased. And as the Apache's gun gleamed under Leah's steady hands, Hayes realized something: the patch wasn't just a relic of the past. It was a legacy, stitched into the fabric of the living.